Am I allowed to go there? Am I allowed to go to the DR?
I hope so.
Why wouldn't you be able to?
Because I'm a felon.
Yeah, but does that mean you can't travel outside of the country?
I think the Dominican Republic.
Wait, really?
To like dozens of countries, they won't have me.
Wow, I did not know that.
Like most of the heavy hitters, like think of a country you'd like to go to. Name one, quick.
Australia.
Ireland.
Australia will let me. Ireland won't.
I mean, it kind of makes sense that Australia would let you. It would be a little hypocritical if they didn't.
It's part of their heritage, right?
Yep.
I like Kyle's knowledge on this.
By flying or on a cruise.
Australia, yes.
He's got a list somewhere that he's just like crossing off where he can.
Yeah. So there's certain places I cannot go to, and there's certain places I can. I'm wondering if one of my felonies just rolled off my back the other day when Biden like signed that piece of paper, and now I've only got a single felony to my name.
Did you see that executive order he wrote or whatever it was about pardoning that one very specific marijuana offense actually is going to release 0 people from prison?
We were talking about
saw 6,500 people.
6,500 people would have their marijuana charges expunged from their record, but there's nobody being released from prison as a result.
Oh, from prison.
Yeah, 0 people getting out of prison because of it.
And also, if you have the possession charge, the odds are you have like 3 more to go with it.
Yeah.
But probably not.
I mean, I know I did.
For simple
possession. There's like nobody in federal prison for simple possession of marijuana. It's like trafficking charges are what get you in, and they also tack on the possession.
The thing is, trafficking doesn't always mean what you think. Like I learned that through Kyle's experience, where I don't know if I should.
Well, they were trying to say that like Kitty runs like a soap and candle making Etsy business, One True Lane over on Etsy, and buy her stuff. And they were trying to like make her like she's got all these presses, like hydraulic presses that make bath bombs, and they're forcing like chemicals together in this little bath bomb. You throw it in, it smells like shit and it bubbles. but it looks crazy because there's powders everywhere and devices to package them, and so many UPS slips and like all of the scales, like the electronic scales for package label making. So they're trying to like, oh, this Kyle guy, he may have only had half an ounce, but we just didn't catch him when he had 50 kilo moving through this place. So like they joked around about trafficking for a while because it was a joke. Because they tested everything she had, and the scariest thing is baking soda. And the intent to distribute is me offering marijuana to my girlfriend in like a text message. Like
that's insane.
And you might think
that's the thing I didn't want to say out loud, that I didn't know.
I don't give a shit.
I needed
and you may think to yourself like, how
can you, ridiculous.
Like who offers marijuana to their girlfriend in a text message? What the text message was like, hey, you want to smoke tonight? I rented like Iron Man or something like that. It was literally something like that.
A regular Pablo Escobar.
It was like, I got Iron Man. You'll get high and watch it.
But not until after I kill my ops, sweetheart.
Yeah, I got to head back out on the streets and collect my money. Got to run by and get some extortion money and traffic. It was much nonsense.
Wait, were they like, I don't know the story of what happened to you super well, but I do remember like, I think I was, probably like 12.
It was I got caught coming out of I was coming out of the post office, and what had happened was I had everybody makes it sound like I ordered the drugs off of like an illicit website, but what happened was my dealer here in Georgia got arrested, so now I don't have a dealer. And I mentioned this to a friend, and she was like, oh, that sucks. I mean, I could send you some stuff. And I was like, nah, I don't want you getting in trouble. And she was like, who cares? Who gets in trouble for weed? And so like a friend just was mailing me like a little bit of weed every now and then. But yeah, they smelled it, I guess, at the post office. And so there was a whole like sting set up. So as soon as I took possession of it, they're like,
someone
show us your hands.
About to get their mail.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. I had to go and it was at the post office at a in a PO box. And the first red flag was it wasn't in the PO box. So I had to like go to the counter and be like, hey, I got a slip in my PO box. Did I miss a package? And I either she didn't know or she's a good actor because I really wish she'd like winked at me or like squeezed my hand twice or something, because the fucking agent is right behind me in line.
Oh my God.
He's right there.
So what was it connected to what you were doing on YouTube, or was it just total luck of the draw that this happened?
I think that makes me a little bit more of a catch in some ways, but it was just stupid me and bad luck. I should have moved out of the state years before then. I shouldn't have been, or I shouldn't have been having my friends send me weed.
That's a thought. But then you'd have less weed.
But then I'd be fucking sober all the time, and who wants that shit?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
we all assumed it had something to do with the guns at the time, like that.
No, there was a thing though. Like they had some. I don't know exactly how it works, but they had these point multipliers that could impact how long he was in prison.
Yeah.
Really?
And like every gun and maybe every specialized gun, like full auto or silencer or something, like made it worse. Now all the guns were legal, everything was
I was
okay.
gonna say that's a lot of guns.
But they assume in the law that the guns are related to the distribution. In Kyle's case, of course, they aren't. They're related to this YouTube channel where he's Russian. But they're like, yeah. So
YouTube channel where he's Russian.
Yeah. But the prosecution wants to tie the guns to the Netflix and chill.
They're trying to
make
say
it
that
this
these
big
guns.
thing.
These guns are part of my criminal enterprise. I use them to protect my drug business.
Right.
That's what that law is meant for. So they go after this drug dealer who's got 3 guns on him, and they're like, okay, one's for him and 2 is for his lieutenants. They're protecting the drug business. Each one of them another 3 years, 9 years plus the 5 we gave you, 14. Go. But in my case, they try to apply the same thing to me, and at some point they stopped counting guns, but they didn't run out of guns. But before they ran to the limit of like years they can tack on for guns. If
you had like 100-ish, right? That's a good estimate.
Yeah, over 100. So like I think it's like 10 or something. They can only, or maybe it was 5, maybe like 5, and each one is like 2 years or 3 years. It was going to add like another decade or so. And then also if they do the trafficking thing, and then I had a gun whose serial number was slightly obscured because it had been professionally painted to like look silly, like a gun from Call of Duty. And they were trying to use a law that's meant to get people who destroy serial numbers and try to apply that to me. That's another decade mandatory. So that's why I said, okay, and possession with intent, let's go. Because I didn't want to deal with all of that craziness.
The law said obliterated serial number. That's how the law read.
Obliterated.
Yeah, I might have mispronounced.
Altered or obliterated. That's the
okay. And I was like, what is that? And I was cautious about it, even asking Kyle details, because every time I have a secret to keep, then that's something I have to very carefully censor myself. I'm on this microphone 5 hours a week. And so I didn't even know some of these answers, but I'm like, did Kyle fucking scratch off a serial number? Like I didn't know, and I didn't need to know, and I later found
cool
out.
Of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not only did I not scratch one off, but I'm like one of the few guys who can, like, because I've got all that, the FFL and the SOT, all that paperwork. I can take your gun, grind that fucking serial number off, and change it to anything, including nonsense. I can make it shit stain 101.
Yeah. Write
it in my logbook. This is a Browning shotgun, serial number shit stain 101, and it is legally shit stain 101. If it ever gets, I could sell it to somebody. Registered them now. They go on do a crime with it. It goes to court as a piece of evidence. They're like, yes, sir, Your Honor. This is Browning serial number shit stain 101. Yeah, that's what it legally is now. I'm the guy who can do that kind of shit. So the idea of me painting over a serial number to hide it on my own gun is just, that law's not meant for me.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
So that was the situation.
For people who don't know what the story is, we didn't say it just now. He took the gun to a pro to be painted, maybe like a Call of Duty gun, like a special camo or something. And they got paint in the serial number. This isn't some random person. This is what they do.
Snow
camo. Okay. And then they accused Kyle of obliterating the serial number. And I'm like, that was just bullshit. It's not fair.
Yeah. I'm like at the very most obscuring it slightly.
Yeah.
And he's allowed to.
And well, I mean, if anything, it's like on that gun did not have a very legible serial number. But it can become legible with like your fingernail, some spit, maybe like some time, like we just need to like
hit it with some crayon
and with the light, like we'll be able to tell like it's paint, it wasn't it's engraved. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that anymore. The audience heard that so many times ad nauseum. So I don't mind talking about it, but I know they're done with it.